It was full of smoke and dark.
And was it the same type of smoke as had come into the lift?
Yes.
You described trying to get out, but that someone was holding on to you. And you said, if we look at it, it's the last sentence of paragraph 25. She was clinging to me and holding my legs. How did you know that this person was a woman?
I'm not sure, because there was a woman. She was just right behind me or by my side. And someone was holding on my leg. I don't know. I couldn't able to see properly, but I think it's her or maybe that man. But that man was a bit far, just a bit close to the door, but she was just next to me.
And was this the same woman who was on your floor when the lift had arrived?
I think so, yeah, because I think she was the only one woman with me.
And what you do remember as well in paragraph 26 is that there was a man banging on the door very heavily.
Yes.
So was that, do you remember who that man was?
No.
Was he the same person that you'd seen when the lift arrived on floor 11?
I'm not sure.
We look now, please, at paragraph 27. You explained there that the lift doors then closed and the lift began going down again. You say the lift was very dark, there was still some smoke in the lift, and finally the door opened on the ground floor and everyone ran out. I ran out of the lift. As the lift was going down from the 10th floor, did it stop at any other floors on the way down?
No.
And you say there was still some smoke in the lift. Can you give us a sense of how much smoke there was in the lift?
It was packed with the smoke. It was a lot of smoke in the lift. But as it was going down, some of the smoke was it was getting a bit less than before. I was able to open my eyes.
Mr. Chairman, if I can now give a warning, I want to now show Ms. Jafari a number of CCTV images taken from a camera which filmed the ground floor lobby. Again, they may be distressing images for some who are here, and so I'll pause briefly just to see if anybody does need to leave. I think the position is that no one wants to do so.
No one's moving at the moment. I think you can take it that
Thank you very much.
willing to see them.
Ms. Jafari, what I want to do now is to show you some CCTV images. Are you all right to view those images?
Yes.
And if you need to look at them, you'll find them at tab 3 of the bundle that's in front of you.
Just so that you know, there are pictures of you leaving the building through the lobby.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is, before I ask any questions about these images, I'm going to show you some of them in sequence. And they start with a picture that's taken before the lift arrives on the ground floor. As we go through these images, I'm going to be giving what we're calling the adjusted time. And to explain to you and to others here what that is the best estimate that the inquiry can give with the assistance of our experts for the real time that appears on that, for that image. So I'm not going to ask you questions, but I'll just take you through them. So can we first of all have INQ 50423, please?
Probably. Oh, well, you can either use that one or you can use the small one if you find it better. Up to you, right?
So that again, just to explain it, this is the first image, the lobby before the lift arrives. The adjusted time for this image is 1:26 and 24 seconds. Could we have INQ 424, please? Adjusted time is 1:26 and 26 seconds. INQ 425. Adjusted time 1:26:29. INQ 426, please. Adjusted time 1:26:30. INQ 427. Adjusted time is 1:26:32. INQ 428, please. Adjusted time 1:26:35. INQ 429. Adjusted time 1:26:36. INQ 430. Adjusted time 1:26:36. And INQ 431, please. Adjusted time 1:26:40. Ms. Jafari, that sequence of stills shows the lift arriving, you're leaving the lift, and then you're leaving the building. I'm not going to take you through them all again, but I just want to take you back to some of those images to ask you some questions. Are you happy to continue?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If we go back, please, to INQ 424, please. This is the second image that we looked at, and we can see that a woman is seen coming out of the lift, and we can also see black smoke. Now, we have to do this, but just to confirm for the record, that person is not you, is it?
No.
Now, you've described seeing a woman on the who came to the 11th floor and pressed the lift button. Does that picture help you at all as to whether that was the person that you saw on the 11th floor?
I'm not sure, but maybe.
Do you remember now, looking at that image, does that help you to remember recalling that person being in the lift with you?
Kind of, yes. But I'm not sure, but there was a lady, yeah.
If we go to INQ 425, please. Now, this is the next person to come out of the lift, and someone wearing a shawl around their head. Can you confirm if that person is you?
Yes.
And can you tell us what was happening there?
I came out. I double-checked if someone is inside the lift.
And do you remember whether you could see anyone else inside the lift at that time?
No.
So there was no one in the lift?
No.
And we can see, if we look at that image, that there's black smoke at the top and also smoke lower down. Can you see that?
Yes.
Was that what the smoke was like when you were in the lift?
Yes, but much more thicker.
So, well, let me take that in stages. You say the smoke was thicker. Was it much thicker when it first started coming into the lift?
Yes.
And you told us there was still some smoke as the lift came down from the 10th floor.
Yes.
Do you think of it, when you think of that smoke, is it still much thicker than we can see there?
Because that time, when I was on the 10th floor, it was a lot more smoke. But as it came down, it got less. So I could able to breathe and I could able to open my eyes. But on 10th floor, I couldn't able to.
And when you say that you were able to open your eyes, did the smoke have any effect on your eyes?
Yes.
What did it do?
It was kind of like itchy and like I couldn't able to open it. It was kind of like burning something into my eyes.
And did that last?
A bit when I came out.
So when we see you in that image, was the smoke still affecting your eyes?
Yes.
And what was it doing to your breathing?
I was coughing and I feel like to vomit.
If we go, please, to INQ 426. And what we can see there, Ms. Jafari, and that's you, and you appear to be walking towards, following the lady and walking towards the door, is that right?
Yes.
What were you wanting to do at that time?
I wanted to go outside to check if my father came before me. Maybe I didn't see him when the lift was open. So I thought he came out before me and he went out. So I went to see outside if he's outside.
Could we now look, please, at INQ 429? And that's you now on the other side of the door,
Yeah.
in the main lobby of the tower, is that right?
Yes.
Is it possible for us to just expand that image so we can see Ms. Jafari a little more clearly, please? Now, you appear, when we enlarge the image, to have something on your face. Can you describe what was on your face at that time?
I was crying and shouting and calling for my father.
And did you have any, was there any marks of the smoke on you?
Yes. As you can see, my face was full of mark of smoke and it was black.
So,
And even inside my mouth.
And what about your clothes?
They were a bit smoky, full of smoke.
If we go now, please, to INQ 431. You're now, I think this is the main entrance to the tower, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's you going through that entrance, is that right?
Yes.
So you've come out of the lift, you've come through the foyer, and you're going out through the main entrance. What were you thinking of doing at that time?
The first point, it was in my head to research for my father and my sister and my mother because they were already outside. But when I didn't see both of them and my father, I went back inside to go back to the 10th floor.
If I could, I'll show you another CCTV still. Mr. Chairman, of course, the previous warning that we gave stands, but I think you can carry on. But it's a new CCTV still, not one of the ones we've shown you before, Mr. Fari. But it's INQ 433. And the adjusted time for this is 1:26 and 59 seconds. So if I just explain just to help you, Ms. Jafari, it's 19 seconds after the last image that we looked at. And it's you coming back into the tower, is that right?
Yes.
And again, just to help us with, what were you going to do at this time?
I want to go back to the lift and go back to the 10th floor.
Now, if we look, please, at INQ 435, another new image. For the record, the adjusted time is 1:27 and 6 seconds. Mr. Barr, again, I think we see you there. But can you tell us what's happening in this picture?
Because I didn't have the key, and to open the door, I need a fob. So I didn't have that. So I'm just shouting. I don't know whom I'm calling. I can't remember. But I was asking for a fob.
Because it's only with a fob key that you can get through to the lift. Is that right? Yeah. And before we leave that image, if we look towards the right of it, you can see that there's just on the other side of the glass, a woman there with a dressing gown. Do you remember seeing her?
No.
Just two more CCTV images to show you, please. INQ 436. Adjusted time 1:26 I think that should be 1:27 and 9 seconds. And then INQ 437, please. 1:20, adjusted time 1:27 and 11 seconds. So this is you now going back out
Yes.
of the tower for a second time, isn't it?
Yes.
And was it after that second time that you left that you were able to find your sister Maria and your mother?
Yeah, she was just outside the building.
When you came out of the tower, did anyone ask you what flat you'd come from?
No.
Could we go back, please, to your witness statement? IWS 683, page 7, please. Expand paragraph 31, please. You say there, Mr. Jafari, when I came out, my mother and Maria were standing there. Maria didn't have the key fob for the stairs as she had given it to the fireman, and the policeman would not let me go back inside. We argued with the policeman about this, but he wouldn't let us in. So just again, so that we can understand your evidence better, was it one policeman that you were arguing with?
Yes, just in front door, the main front door.
And did that policeman give you any information about what was happening to the fire inside the tower?
No.
Do you remember giving any information to that policeman about your father?
Yes, I said to him, I want to go back because my father's inside.
But did you tell him where your father might be?
Not to him, no.
Did you tell him what flat you had left?
No.
But you're clear in your recollection that it was a male police officer, is that right?
Yes.
Well, can we stay on the same page, please, and just look at paragraphs 32 to 34? Just draw your attention, Ms. Jafari, to paragraph 32 first. I was feeling very sick by now because of all the smoke I had inhaled and because of the effects of the operation. I sat down under the walkway to Barrendon Walk for a few minutes. There's a small garden area with a place where you can sit, and I stayed there. And then you describe your brother Farid and his wife coming, and then the paragraph finishes, I was just sitting for a time, and then the police came and they pushed us on further away from the tower. You go on in paragraph 33 to say that you were searching outside for your father. And then if we look at paragraph 34, I was feeling worse and worse. I was sick, and after 1 hour I started to lose feeling in my feet. My hands and feet turned blue. I was out of breath. I couldn't feel my hands and I couldn't breathe properly. I also had a sharp pain in my legs. Maria brought 2 people to see me, and they put special aluminium plastic down for people to lie on. I was cold and shaking, and they said I needed to go to the hospital. The ambulance was very far away, though, and I needed to walk to it. I remember that Maria said, "Don't close your eyes," but they kept closing. Now, you say it's in paragraph 34 that you say that you started to lose feeling in your feet, but can we just take it in stages, please? How soon after leaving the tower did you start feeling unwell?
I can't remember exactly what time, but it was sunrise, before sunrise. So in June, normally sunrise come out around 3 o'clock in the morning. So I came out at 1:30, so maybe 3. So maybe after 2 or 1 hour. So.
And was that when your hands and feet started turning blue and you started
Yes.
feeling out of breath?
Yeah.
So up until then, had you been okay?
Yeah, we went back. It was in front of the sports center. So some people, our neighbors, they bought chairs and something. Yeah, it was chairs, and my mom she was with me, so I was sitting there because I couldn't able to walk. So they provide some chairs for us and water.
And you say you were out of breath. How can you describe how difficult it was for why you were, or how you were finding it difficult to breathe?
I don't know, all of a sudden I couldn't able to stand because I was like trying to go and look for my father because my sister and my brother, they were all like going around the building. But I was with my mother and I was standing because the police wouldn't let us to go near the building. So I said to my sister, I don't feel my feet anymore. And I couldn't able to breathe.
And when you first started feeling unwell, which I think your evidence now is possibly about 3 o'clock in the morning, was there anyone offering medical treatment to people who were coming out of the tower?
The people of the tower, oh, the ambulance. I don't know, there was 2 men, I remember they came, and I think they were from the team of the ambulance, I don't know. But they took me to the ambulance.
So the 2 men the 2 people that you described Maria bringing, were those 2 men?
Yes.
And were they wearing uniforms?
I can't remember, I didn't see.
If we go, please, now just to the next page in the statement, just take a look at paragraph 36. Just want to pick up on the first sentence of that paragraph, please, Ms. Jafari, and it's what you've said, isn't it? When you went to hospital, you say there was smoke in my throat. Can you just explain a little bit further, please, what you mean by smoke in your throat?
Because the doctor said that he can't see because he put kind of like a camera through my nostrils and he said there is kind of like smoke into your throat, but not inside your chest.
And did he tell you what he could see? I mean,
Yes.
Did he describe the smoke? What did he say?
He said it's only through your throat and the pipeline, that's it. And he said he's going to give me an injection, that's it. And I had an oxygen for maybe an hour, and after that they took it off.
So up until you had oxygen at the hospital, what was your breathing like?
It was kind of like, because I was feeling like to vomit, so they had to control that.
Mr. Chairman, I've reached the end of my questions, but I think if I could just ask for a short pause,
Yes.
because I'm sure there might be some additional questions that others might wish me to ask.
Of course. Well, Mr. Rawat thinks he's finished asking questions, but we're going to have a short break so that he can check. So I'm going to ask you to leave us for about 5 minutes so that he can check whether there are more questions he needs to ask you, and then we'll come back and see how things go, all right?
Okay.
And don't talk to anyone, please, about your evidence while you're out of the room.
Okay.
All right? So you go with the usher and we'll come back at 1:45. Is that going to be all right? Mr. Rawat?
Yes. I think, well, can I ask for 10 minutes, I think?
10 minutes, all right, 10 to. 10-minute break, all right?
Okay.
I'd like to go with the usher, please. Right, 10 to 12, please.
Thank you.